Every single time you buy something online, or check your email, or even just log into an app, you're using this incredible system of invisible locks and keys. It's honestly one of the most important inventions of our time, but most of us have no idea how it really works. So, in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain and unlock the secrets behind your digital life. It really all boils down to this one simple but huge question. The internet is this wide open space, right? So when you go to your bank's website, how do you really know you're talking to your bank and not some scammer? That is the core problem, and it breaks down into a few major threats we have to deal with. First up, you've got impersonation. It is just way too easy for someone to throw up a website that looks exactly like the real thing or create a fake email address, all designed to trick you into handing over your information. And then, of course, there's data theft. Think about it. When you send information from your computer, it has to travel across this huge network to get to a server. And all along that journey, it's vulnerable. Someone could be listening in, trying to snatch your passwords, your credit card number, you name it. And the last big one? Forgery. How can you be sure that the email you just got hasn't been tweaked or changed on its way to you? Or that a contract you're about to sign digitally is the real final version with no secret changes? So, to fight all this stuff, we needed a totally new kind of lock, one that was built from the ground up for the digital world. We needed a system that could prove who you are, keep your secrets safe, and guarantee nothing's been tampered with, all happening in the blink of an eye. And the solution that engineers came up with is, well, it's just brilliant. It's so elegant and crazy powerful. It's a concept that doesn't rely on one key, but two. This is the hero of our story, something called asymmetric cryptography. Let's break this down with our really simple analogy. Just picture a special kind of mailbox. The mail slot, that's your public key. You can tell everyone where it is, you can shout the address from the rooftops, anyone can come by and drop a locked message into it. But to actually unlock that mailbox and read the messages inside, you need the one and only private key, which you keep hidden, totally secret. Only you have it. So that magic mailbox idea, it's got a fancy name, asymmetric cryptography. Asymmetric just means the two keys are different, but they're mathematically tied together. And here's the absolute crucial rule. A message that's locked with the public key can only be unlocked by its partner private key. And it works the other way around too. They're a perfect, inseparable pair. All right, so how does this whole two-key thing actually work in practice? How does it stop all those bad guys we talked about? Well, it gives us two super powerful abilities. Let's dig into the first one. The first function is all about keeping things secret, confidentiality. So check this out. Alice wants to send a secret message to Bob. She finds Bob's public key. Remember, that's the one he shares with everyone. She uses that key to lock or encrypt her message. Instantly, that message becomes total gibberish. Anyone trying to eavesdrop would see nothing but a scrambled mess. The only thing in the entire universe that can unlock it and make it readable again is Bob's private key. That's it. That's how our secrets stay secret.
Okay, now for the second function, authenticity, which is all about proving you are who you say you are. This is where it gets really clever, because it basically works in reverse. This time, Alice uses her own private key to create a unique digital signature on a document. You can think of the signature like a special, unfakeable fingerprint of the message. She sends the document and the signature over to Bob. Now Bob can take Alice's public key and use it to check the signature. If it works, it proves two massive things. One, it had to have come from Alice, because only her private key could have created that specific signature. And two, it proves the document hasn't been changed one bit. It's a perfect, unforgeable digital seal.
So, you might be thinking this is all just some nerdy, abstract concept, right? Nope. You are using this exact system all day, every day, probably hundreds of times, without even thinking about it. The whole point of this system, this entire structure of secrecy and proof, is to defeat something called a man-in-the-middle attack. That's where a hacker secretly wedges themselves in between you and who you're talking to, listening in and maybe even changing messages without either of you knowing. With asymmetric cryptography, that attacker is totally shut down. They can't read the scrambled messages and they can't fake the digital signatures. Game over for them. And this is where it all clicks into place. See that little padlock icon in your web browser? That's HTTPS, and it's powered by this two-key system. When you use encrypted chat apps or send a secure email with something called PGP, you're using it. When a programmer needs to securely log into a remote server, this is how they do it. And if you're into crypto, your private key is literally the only thing that proves you own your Bitcoin and lets you spend it. See? It is everywhere.
Okay, but wait a second. There's kind of a hole in this plan, right? It's great that I can find a public key for my bank, but how do I know it's actually my bank's real key and not a fake one planted there by an imposter trying to trick me?
The answer is basically a system of trusted digital referees. It's called a public key infrastructure, or PKI for short. And at the center of it all are these highly trusted companies called certificate authorities, or CAs. Think of them like the DMV for the internet. Seriously, before your bank can get that little padlock icon, it has to prove its identity to a CA. The CA then issues a digital certificate, kind of like a driver's license, that says, yep, we verified these guys and this public key really belongs to them. Your web browser checks for that certificate automatically to make sure you're talking to the real deal. So when you step back and look at the big picture, you start to realize this isn't just about security. It's about the very foundation of how we trust each other online. Here's the most important thing to remember from all of this. Your digital keys are your digital identity. They are what prove you are who you say you are. They're what prove you own what you say you own. They have become the literal bedrock of trust in our entire connected world. So let's just boil it all down real quick. It all comes down to that two-key system. You've got the public key, which you can share with the world. It's used for locking up data and for checking signatures. Then you have the private key, which you have to keep secret. It's for unlocking that data and for creating those signatures. And together, those two keys give us the two pillars of online trust: confidentiality and authenticity. And that leaves us with one last really big question to chew on. As more and more of our lives go digital, the power of these keys is just going to keep growing. Right now, we put our trust in a handful of these certificate authorities to manage the system. But if our digital keys are truly becoming our identity, the most important question for our future is, who should we trust to create, manage, and hold those keys?